Su maldita jaula de criaturas. No tiene criaturas. Bueno, vamos a pelear.
I want to hear that you're ready for your next fight.
Pues lo irás.
What do you need?
Háblame de mi siguiente combate.
For your first match, we'll start you off against a mighty ogre. I'll be watching your style closely to see how you fare. Impress me, and I'll take you to the top. Even our great champions start out against the ogre. Take Raging Ox, who danced around the beast singing drunkenly to earn the crowd's favor, or the Ravager, who defeated him in a single blow. I should take a moment and explain the system we use here.
Ya lo iré averiguando a medida que avance. Pasemos al combate.
That's the spirit. Dive right in with both feet first. It's not that difficult a system, and you seem bright enough to figure it out. Are you ready to get started?
Sí.
Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
A new warrior does battle with the beast.
Pero no quiero pelear con fuego.
Hidden fist.
¿Eh?
Dire flame.
Qué güey, maldito.
That was an impressive beginning. Normally I'd have started you off against something easier, but you practically ooze potential. You've caught the eyes of the other fighters as well. Go ask them if you don't believe me.
That really was a fantastic bout.
Beating the ogre's nothing special. I could have done better bound and blinded.
Sometimes you don't even need to ask. One fight does not make a champion, though. There are many more opponents ahead of you. Let's move on, shall we?
Habla del siguiente.
Since you held your own against the ogre brute last time, I'm going to try something exciting for the crowd. I've got 4 boys from some school west of the city who've been bothering me for some tougher matches. I'm giving you all of them at once. It'll wow the crowd and teach them a lesson at the same time. Remember to watch your sides and back. Are you ready to get started?
Pues sí.
Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
Four students test their skills against one master.
La maestra de maestros.
Hidden fist.
No les hace nada.
Leaping tiger.
Those boys won't be back anytime soon. Losing as a group to one opponent would shame a peasant, let alone a student of the martial arts.
Eso es todo lo que puedes ofrecer, viejo. Háblame del siguiente combate.
The crowd's starting to catch on to you. Have you noticed? People like you, and now I'm going to make sure they pay attention. I'm going to have a roughly hewn statue hauled into the ring. I want you to discombobulate it. Destroy the statue quickly enough, and I'll give you a shot at hapless harm.
Hecho.
Are you ready to get started?
Vamos, viejo.
Excellent. Follow me, and we'll get you ready for your next match.
Destruir una estatua. Como tuve el cochecito del
Unyielding
Street
stone
Fighter.
meets the press of time.
¿No estoy haciendo algo? Mierda. Mierda.
Excellent work. You have vested time itself in destroying that statue. No mean feat, I assure you.
Háblame el siguiente.
I think you're ready to face hapless Han. Show me you're ready for the big time, and I'll make sure you don't have to dance with the children anymore.
Estos combates son ridículos.
Are you ready to get started?
Sí.
Excellent. Follow me, and we'll get you ready for your next match.
Ay, todas estas malditas
Can
pantallas de
Silver
carga.
Phoenix surpass Hapless Han and leave the qualifying division?
Le voy a dejar la cara peor de lo que ya la tiene.
Hidden fist. Leaping tiger. Die with honor.
Nadie puede conmigo. Oh.
You dealt with Han very well. I knew you would. All of our professional fighters move past him eventually.
Kui, that will be enough. I bring you a message from my employer, Kailan the Serpent. He is impressed with how far you have come in such a short while. The Serpent wants you to know that he is watching your progress very closely. He is most interested to see how you fare in the Bronze Division. Kui, you may breathe again. That is all I had to say.
Well, that was good, I think.
Si no sabes vos, yo qué sé. ¿Por qué dejas que yo, el afortunado, te trate así, Kui? ¿Quieres que lo mate?
Joe is a thug, pure and simple, but he's very good at what he does. He's also a member of the guild and reports directly to Kailan.
Ese quién es.
Kailan oversees things here in the arena, and the guild ensures that the authorities lead
Ah, yo maté a uno de los jefes de la cofradía, un tal Gao el mayor, no sé si te suena. Ya basta de hablar de lo que dijo Joe. ¿Puedes contarme algo más sobre la cofradía?
The guild is the organization that controls all of the betting in this place. That gives them considerable sway. It is good that they are happy.
Ahora que lo pienso, podría apostar por mí misma.
The guild is also involved in more illicit activities. They are very sensitive about remaining an open secret. Many know about them, but few acknowledge that fact. Right now is a particularly dangerous time, as one of the leaders of the guild has recently been inhumed. Kailan sees this as an opportunity.
Ese debe ser Gao.
Do not discuss them openly. The guild has many ears. You may ask some of the others in the arena about them if you wish, but I would not bring it up to just anyone.
Hablaré de lo que quiera con quien me venga en gana. No pueden tocar a mí.
You are strong, but they are many and work in shadows. For the sake of your career, I suggest that you limit any questions you have to your fellow fighters.
Well done. That fight was much better than this
¿Y
wine.
tú qué demonios haces aquí? Maldito
All
borracho.
the pure water pouring from the palace, you'd think they might have learned how to make wine that didn't taste like goat piss.
Black Whirlwind, that is you. Are you back to...
No, just here visiting and making sure nothing happens to your newest fighter.
So you won't be...
No, leave it alone, Kui. You know better than to bring this up. Just mind your business, promoter, and I'll mind mine.
You travel in curious company. Well, regardless, when you're ready, come talk to me again and we'll discuss your next match.
Eres amigo de ese idiota que no deja de seguirme, ¿verdad?
I know him, yes, but I know better than to contravigate his wishes. If you want to talk about it, ask him. I'm staying out of it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must prepare for your entry into the Bronze Division. It will take me a bit of time before you'll be ready for your next fight.
¿Ah?
You should talk to the other fighters here. They've been watching you and are getting nervous. Of course, I'll need more time than that for these preparations.
Ah, maldita pérdida de tiempo. ¿No puedo combatir ahora?
It's just a matter of preparing the proper documents. Why don't you kill the time by making your way out into the city? See the sights. Maybe visit the Golden Way or the Scholar's
Ah,
Garden.
maldito seas.
Actually, that reminds me. A woman was here watching your fight against hapless Han, dressed all in black and veiled. She seemed impressed with your preference.
La mujer enmascarada debe ser esa.
Just before she left, she told me to tell my new fighter that she was still waiting to see you. She said you'd know where.
No, lo cierto es que no lo sé. No he leído la maldita carta. Y creo que no pienso leerla. Bueno, vamos a hablar con esta gente. ¿De qué?
Fascinating. How very interesting to meet you.
¿Qué te pasa en los ojos?
Fate may have robbed me of my sight at a young age, but I can still sense the energy within your meridians. Impressive, and yet somewhat strange.
Pareces una vendedora local de remedios milagrosos.
Miraculous? There are no miracles in acupuncture. It is a science, tested and refined for thousands of years. Bah, miracles are for the heavens. Allow me a formal introduction. I am Dr. An, acupuncturist.
Y tienes algo que me
You
interese.
are one of the arena's contestants, are you not? I hear talk that you are one of the most promising new contenders.
Voy a arrasar con
But I
este
should
lugar.
not prattle on at you. What do you need from me?
No sé, ¿qué ofreces? ¿Qué tienes a la venta?
Of course, have a look.
Dame, 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 dame. ¿Qué
While I
más?
cannot see you, your appearances are hard to ignore. Welcome again. Haplasan stumbled in here for yet another treatment after you defeated him.
No me importa.
Impressive handiwork, though I find myself in a position to wish you were less skilled, especially with Han. He is a continual strain on my time.
Mira, ojitos de gato. No me digas cómo hacer mi trabajo y yo no te diré cómo hacer el tuyo. Si lo único que haces es quejarte, me sorprende que Han o cualquier otro se moleste en regresar.
I think you misunderstand the situation. I have no problems treating Han, but I receive no compensation for tending to injuries. I shouldn't complain, though. The arena pays me to look after you fighters, and Han's constant injuries have helped me hone my healing skills to erase...
¿Y entonces de qué te estabas quejando en primer lugar, maldita seas? Te dejo
Be
tranquila.
well.
Ay, qué tonta. Tú...
Boy, that sure was something. I wouldn't have wanted to be me out there, except that I was. But I learned so much from facing you. Next time I should try some of that fancy stuff you do. I'm not exactly sure how you did it, though.
Las garritas locas. Para ser un adversario tan fácil de vencer, pareces muy contento.
Oh, come now. I lose all the time. It's a learning experience.
Eres el mayor necio que he visto. Tus derrotas son vergonzosas y patéticas.
Records are just numbers on paper, or beads on the abacus. One fire or a heave of the earth, and they're lost forever. It's what's inside that counts, wouldn't you say?
No. Te odio, Han.
Is it me you hate, or is it yourself? Think about what you're saying.
Estás desesperado por justificar tu patético historial. Como guerrero, eres un completo inútil, y como hombre, no eres mucho mejor.
But Oh, by all the thousand horns of the Bull of Despair, it's true, isn't it? I've been fooling myself this whole time. Maybe I should go back to being a smith. Of course, I don't see how I'd be any better at that. I mean, what's the point, really? It'll all rust or just break anyway. I'll just stay here and listen to the spectators laugh at me. You'd better go, though. No need to waste your time talking to a pathetic loser who'll never go anywhere. Go on. You might rub off, and you don't want that.
Oh, soy inmune. De verdad.
You look a shade better than the usual cowardly dogs we get through here. Just a shade, though.
Quiero que recuerdes esas
So you've learned the
palabras
right to
cuando
talk
te
to me.
destruya
Lucky
todos
you.
los huesos del cuerpo.
Iron Soldier's the name, though everyone just calls me Soldier. You may as well do the same. You ground the hapless one beneath your feet like everyone else does, huh? Han's pathetic for wasting time on the hopefuls, if you ask me. Then again, watching Han stumble to Dr. On every time he tries to handle the real Bronze Division fights is one of the most entertaining things about this place.
¿Siempre eres tan beligerante?
Given half the chance, yes. If you can't handle it, you don't need to talk to me. There are some people who call the way I operate walking the low path, but they're fools.
¿Qué sabes tú del camino inferior? Luego hablaré contigo.
Go bother someone else.
Ya nos veremos en la arena, estúpido ser. Ok.
Uktatasir ni Ryoki, ka sisayir na wur awukategi.
Muchas preguntas para vos. Yo, el afortunado, menciono a la cofradía. Necesito saber qué piensas de ella.
Uksir wa tawafu ni froto usosawir. Uktatasir ni Ryoki.
Ajá. ¿Por qué tolera el imperio la cofradía?
Wo panaro wasawir tatasi ni wasunir prawun. Wasawir kokonatoi.
¿Te quedaste sin sonido? Ay, Dios, este juego. ¿Qué puedes decirme de la serpiente?
Kwawir uyu itarir no ka sisayir na wurkut. Wo nisir wir nokataku fifir.
Bueno, eso está...
Wo yo wir Shakespeare waso.
¿Y este quién es?
If you must pester one of us, then make it my brother, Sung Bo.
¿Cuál es? Sung Bo.
The brothers Sung greet our fellow combatant warmly. I am Sung Bo, this is my little brother Boo, and my older brother Sui.
Do not bother me. Introductions merely clutter the mind.
I don't think they was bothering you, Sui. It's Bo being talked to.
Han falls to your strikes, as have so many before. Now that you have entered the Bronze Division, we shall see how you truly fare. Now, what did you need?
¿Qué podéis contarme sobre la cofradía?
We can tell you to be careful whom you ask about such things. Secrets kept in the open are the most sensitive.
¿Quién es Kailan?
The serpent who dwells in the shadows of this place. Like an air spirit, he is everywhere and yet invisible to the eye.
Brother Sui puts it well. Kailan the Serpent is the Guild's will in this place, powerful enough that only the brave or foolish discuss him at any length.
¿Por qué no acaba el imperio con la cofradía?
I agree. I don't want them around anymore. They scare me.
If you let fear guide your decisions, Brother Boo, you will find that you have walked the coward's path.
Philosophy aside, the Empire certainly could wipe them out. But wouldn't another similar organization appear? Regardless, if something could be done, the Empire would have done it already.
Ajá. Interesante. ¿Qué hace la cofradía aquí, exactamente?
Besides running the most expansive betting operation in the Empire, I speculate that they do much more than that. But we have been smart enough not to find out. We question things in the arena, though. For example, why are we allowed to fight as one body when the rules suggest such a thing should be illegal? The Guild cares more for a good show than fair play. Good shows keep the bet money flowing, especially if a favored fighter were to suddenly and surprisingly lose.
No necesito más nada de ustedes.
Oh yes, we shall see you around. Of that you can be sure.
Van a morder el polvo como todos los demás. Mi combate. ¿Dónde está tu voz?
You'll crash and burn in the bronze division. Kana's tighter than a merchant's purse strings, but she's skilled.
Me caes mal.
Crimson Kana is the champion of this round. You'll have to face her eventually. Be ready when you do.
Ajá. Háblame del siguiente combate.
Your next fight? I'd love to, but I'm still arranging the details of your entry into the bronze division. Besides, didn't you have some mysterious lady in black?
Ay, la mujer de negro. ¿Dónde mierda dijo que tenía que ir? ¿Dónde estás, mujer de negro? Y soy de la sonoridad de princesa son leal, mejor me parece que tiene un interés personal. Ok. ¿Dónde está la mujer enmascarada? ¿Dónde mierda está? Tú, puedo apostar por mí misma.
You're one of the fighters now, aren't you? Silver Phoenix, was it? Well, there's nothing for you to do here. I take bets, and you don't get paid when you're a fighter, so push off.
Mi plan se ha ido al diablo. ¿Dónde está el jardín ese imperial que me dijo esta boluda? Jardín imperial. ¿Dónde está el jardín imperial? Este no es. Los putos perros jitsus. Acá tiene que ser acá. El camino dorado, ¿esto no es el jardín imperial? O sí es. Y tiene otro nombre, más confuso, para confundir a la buena gente como yo. Y tú me miras, niña. Está el puto jardín imperial. Tengo que encontrarla. ¿Jardín imperial?
Hold on there. This way leads into the necropolis, a dangerous area. You shouldn't go in there unless you have some business there.
No me digas que ser soldadito. Mis razones me llevan a donde quiero.
Yes, but I must warn you, the dead aren't the only terrifying things in the necropolis. They say the Lotus assassins have a special interest in the place.
Sí, además tengo que encontrar una bandida.
I have nothing more to say on that subject, and you certainly didn't hear that rumor from me.
Bien. ¿Has visto una mujer que se llama Luna Menguante? Es una pirómane.
Captain Sen has you collecting heads for him, does he? Good for you. A woman did make her way into the necropolis some time ago. She seemed a bit wild around the eyes and ignored me when I tried to warn her. She certainly hasn't left, so if it was this fading moon, you should still be able to find her in there. I'll make sure she doesn't slip out behind you.
Probablemente te va a matar. Dame más detalles acerca de los problemas de la necrópolis.
Not the nicest of topics, but go ahead.
Ay, Dios. No importa.
Anything else you need? Talk help.
No, nada.
Stay away from the necropolis. I wouldn't want a pretty girl like you getting hurt in there.
Atrevido. No. Gema de espíritu irresistible. ¿Dónde mierda estás? Son mendigo. Putos perros jitsu por todos lados. ¿Qué tenés para mí, Song, el mendigo?
I greet you, my lady. I wonder if you might have some silver to spare.
Ah. Lo siento, pero no me lo puedo permitir. Y apártate de mi camino, por favor.
If you feel more generous later, I will be here.
Aunque eso debe ser alguna especie de misión secundaria si te doy alguna monedita o algo así. Porque si ese es el caso, entonces te voy a dar una
Hello
monedita.
again, my lady. Are you
Tú no eres el mendigo rico.
I come from a very wealthy family. As such, I have a certain lifestyle to maintain. Parties, female admirers, lots of wine. You understand.
Eso no explica por qué estás mendigando.
I have to have an income, don't I? My father looked at my considerable expenses and told me to get my own silver.
Y no se te ha ocurrido buscar trabajo.
Ah, but I am a noble. The shame of manual labor or the stink of trade must not be allowed to touch me.
Eso es bastante patético, ¿no te parece?
Not at all. Very simply, you have it, I want it. I am behaving in a very rational, civilized manner by politely asking. I read all the greatest philosophers and consulted with wise men before reaching this decision. I assure you the philosophical underpinnings are quite sound.
Mira cómo te mira el cielo.
Wisdom is only gained by experience, wine, women, and song, as it were. But a life of revel with no reflection still does not lead to true wisdom. One must ponder, one must daydream. Even if I could bear the shame of sullying my hands with work, when would I think? How could I grow wise?
Eso ha valido una moneda de plata, tómale.
If you want to give me that coin because I entertained you, I will not have it. To think an entertainer.
Muy bien, te ofrezco esta moneda únicamente como caridad.
I thank you. It's not easy for one such as I. I have it far more difficult than the impoverished beggars of this city.
Pobre alma.
Farewell.
¿Ves? Eso es caridad. No entiendo ni qué sucedió ahí, pero...
Your parentage is below average, and your ancestry is of questionable worth.
Huh?
You dress yourself in the manner of a common laborer. Nobody's paying any attention.
Keep trying, just as I instructed.
Your physique seems exceptional. Clearly you are a peasant. A noble could afford sloth.
¿Cómo te atreves? ¿Qué es esto? Responde.
Your breath is like the wind of an ox. Your last meal was of suspect quality.
Voy a desintegrar tu cuerpo. Te lo advierto, no me faltes el respeto.
Your beliefs are superficial, and your culture is substandard.
Se acabó. Voy a poner fin a tu absurdo acoso.
Hold! You must forgive my servant. He was acting for me. I asked him to find someone not distracted by mere insults. Someone who would command respect.
Explícate.
I must say, your refusal to stand for it was admirable. I think you are exactly what we need.
Explicación. Si estás detrás de esto, te debo una paliza.
Please, my intent is noble. An outlander arrived several days ago, and now we cannot get him to leave. He's consuming copious amounts of our food and wine. He balks at our attempts to calm him, and answers requests for payment with strange coins of questionable value. He needs to go.
Un extranjero, dijiste. ¿De dónde viene ese hombre?
He claims he crossed the Glass Sea, which would mean he's from the mysterious East. I've heard reports of minor trade with that region, but only on a small scale. Even if they buy the occasional bolt of silk, everyone knows there are only barbarians outside the Jade Empire, and his manner confirms it. He insults the Emperor. So far, he has escaped the notice of any higher officials. Perhaps he was mistaken for an actor in a troupe, but that will not last. If he is reported, the Lotus Assassins will take notice. They'll want to know if he was harbored or his offense was encouraged. Guilt by association is enough for them.
You're right. ¿Quieres que lo metí?
We don't want a murder. We just want order restored. But he doesn't respond like we do. He proposes challenges we don't understand and then declares himself the winner. Several of our brightest have faced him, but as soon as they get the better of him, he sets off his strange firework and says they are beaten. Normally, the peasants like it when we intellectuals are maligned, but they tire of his presence too. Getting rid of this nuisance will endear you to many.
Bueno. Puede que lo haga cuando tenga tiempo. Déjame en paz.
That is not the conviction I was hoping for. But no one else has been able to help, so it will have to do. At your convenience, then. He is in the Scholar's Garden, and no amount of opposition has moved him. Please, I hope you will prove to be a worthy opponent.
Sí, sí. Vete, gordo. Vete con tu peladito. Manitas misiones secundarias, este lugar está lleno.